Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how I made this video. This technique is called pixel stretching and it really went viral in photography community, and I decided to give it a try as well, but to also animate it. I used Photoshop and Premiere Pro and I will show you my full process. First, I open the image in Photoshop and decide which part I want to stretch out. Here I picked the banners because they are the most colorful. I selected the banners with polygonal lasso tool and with Ctrl+J I copied that layer. I stay on this banner layer and then go pick single row mark tool, which I've never really used before. And for this image I picked the horizontal one. I take it and put it where I think the most colors are. If you see me zoom in, it only selects just one pixel row. So I copy this selection with Ctrl+J again. Then I convert it to Smart Object because it gives me more flexibility to warp it however I want to. I click Shift and drag it upwards for now. I want this to be behind the banners, so I just put it under the banner layer. Then I click Ctrl+T to transform it and click Warp. Now I can do whatever I want with the shape. And for this one I kind of wanted to repeat the arc of the tunnel. Then I obviously need a foreground, so I just select the part that would be in the foreground with lasso tool and make another layer for it. After I'm fully done shaping it, there is one thing I like to do, which is a matter of taste. As you see, the image has a bit of grain and some noise, and the stretched pixels are too smooth. I rasterize the final shape and then add some noise or grain, so now it feels more finished for me. It's not really noticeable on small screens, but you never know what you are going to need the photos for. I repeat the same process for all photos. But for traffic light, I separated the lights and colors, so I can turn them on and off. If you want to know in details how I make the traffic lights flicker, you can check my tutorials where I explain everything from start to end. And on this shot I made just one zero and the line right under it brighter, so I can make it flicker with opacity keyframes in Premiere. Now moving on to Premiere Pro. If you're not using Premiere Pro, you can try looking for similar distortion effects in your program. Here I arrange the layers as they were in Photoshop file. To animate the stretched pixels, I only used one effect called Turbulent Displace, and I drag it onto the pixels layer. So this is a distortion effect. Let me quickly tell you and show what exactly it does so it's easier to understand. We have different types of wave-like distortions here. Turbulent, bulge, twist, also vertical, horizontal, cross. First one is the amount of the effect, which serves as intensity of the effect. Size. It controls the size of the wavy movement we have here. Complexity controls how much is the visual distorted. Higher the number, the more it gets distorted, and lower the less. And evolution. Here we can control the speed of the movement. These are all the controls that you are going to need. Choosing the numbers here are completely depending on your photo and your taste. For this one I wanted some big waves, so I chose the big number for the size. And then adjusted amount and evolution speed however I liked it the most. But I also wanted the waves to fully disappear by time and become original shape. So I put the keyframes in the start and end. In the start I put the higher amount and then got it to 0, so the effect is fully gone by the end of the clip. I didn't change complexity here because I don't want it too distorted. And for speed, to be honest, I just go for some random numbers, and whatever works the best, I keep it that way. And if it's peaking, as you see here, I go to opacity and pick a mask. It's super easy to adjust, so I just select the mask around the shape. So no matter what I do, it can't go out of this border. On this image I repeated the same, but with different numbers, which again I picked randomly by my liking. It would also be fun to do all three colors with different numbers, but I wasn't a fan of it, so I just copied the same settings on all three. And then I do a bit more position correction so the traffic light covers the pixel borders right here. and this is how to make it flicker. I have green light and green pixels. So I either trim it like this, or go to the opacity and add keyframes depending on the music. For harsh on and off effect, I select the keyframes, right-click the mouse and choose hold, so it turns on and off right away. For the last one, the same. Here for the distortion type, I selected horizontal with small size, but I also increased the complexity here so it's more narrow and more distorted. And of course some evolution keyframes for speed. This effect is easy to use, you just have to experiment and change the numbers so it looks good for your visual. And after some tweaks, here is the final result. And that's it. There is of course lots of many other ways to animate it, and it's just a really fun technique to experiment with. If you want to learn more about flickering lights and other techniques I use, I have already uploaded tutorials that you can check where I explain everything from start to an end. Thank you for watching. Bye!